Before the skies were named, before the earth was formed, there was only Apsu and Tiamat, sweet and salty waters intertwined. From that ancient silence, the first gods were born: Lamu, Anshar, Nudimmud. But the silence did not last. The gods spoke, laughed, created, and disturbed. Apsu, the elder, wanted to destroy them. Tiamat refused. But when the elder gods rose in war, Tiamat became something she had never been: a monster of chaos, a colossal dragon, the mother of all things from the deep. Then came Marduk, young, wise, unstoppable. In his hand, a bow, at his sleeve, the storms, on his tongue, spells. He made a vow: if I defeat Tiamat, I will be king of the gods, and I will create a new world. The battle was epic. The cosmos held its breath. And in the end, Marduk pierced her heart. He split her body in two. From one half, the sky; from the other, the earth. What you're about to hear is the origin of everything. A tale of gods and monsters, of betrayal and creation. This is the story of Enuma Elish. In the days when nothing had yet been named, no gods called by name, no destinies written, Apsu and Tiamat, fresh and salt waters, mingled as one. From this fusion, gods emerged. Lamu and Lahamu came first. Then Anshar and Kishar, greater than those before. Then came Anu, and from him Nudimmud, Ea the wise. The gods multiplied. They moved and stirred, churning the primordial sea. They made noise, endless noise. They disturbed Apsu's sacred sleep. They disrupted the calm. Apsu, the father of them all, spoke to Mummu, his vizier. Their clamour grows louder. Their deeds are loathsome. I cannot rest. Let us destroy them and reclaim our peace. Mummu agreed. Together they plotted in secret to silence the young gods forever. But the gods heard whispers. The wise Ea, master of spells, discovered the plan. He summoned the ancient words. He recited the incantation of stillness. He cast down Apsu into sleep, then slayed him where he lay. Mummu, the counselor, was bound with chains. Ea took the crown, took the mantle, and built his chamber atop the ruins of Apsu. There he made a sanctuary. There he took Damkina as his wife, and from their union a new god was born, Marduk. Born in splendor, glowing with radiance, his limbs perfect, his voice thunderous, his gaze blazing fire. 4 winds gathered at his side to serve him. When he moved, the world bent around him. The gods rejoiced. Marduk was their hope. But far below, Tiamat began to awaken. Time passed, but peace did not return. The gods, now countless in number, filled the heavens with their voices. They created stars, rivers, winds, and fire. They roamed across dimensions and dominions unknown. They played, they quarreled, they built worlds of noise and motion. Their joy was thunder, their laughter, lightning. But deep beneath all creation, Tiamat wept. She who once gave birth to the gods, she who once refused to destroy her noisy children, now sat in silence, mourning Apsu, her consort, the father of all. Apsu, once calm and mighty, now reduced to silence, slain by Ea, one of her own blood. His sacred waters still, his essence vanished. And Mummu, the trusted advisor, bound in chains beneath the waves. Tiamat's heart, once a womb of warmth, became a furnace of wrath. They have risen too high, she whispered into the dark. They destroy their fathers. They mock their mother. They will learn what it means to defy the deep. So she rose, and with her rising, chaos returned. Tiamat began to fashion monsters from the raw chaos of the abyss, from foam and flame, from salt and shadow. She brought forth beings never before seen, vipers with fire for breath, dragons with eyes like suns, lion demons, furious and fanged, scorpion men, silent and deadly, storm serpents coiled in thunder, fishmen with blades for fins, hounds of war, foaming with rage. 11 kinds of monsters she made, each terrible, each loyal, only to her. Then she created a champion. From her own essence she formed him, black of heart, born for vengeance. His name was Kingu. She adorned him with power, lifted him high above the others, and placed upon his chest the tablet of Destinies, the divine artifact that ruled all fate. With this, she declared, you shall command the fates of gods and men. You shall lead my army. You shall be my weapon. And Kingu bowed, trembling not with fear but with pride. The monster child of chaos, crowned with destiny. Far above, in the halls of the high gods, Anshar, the elder among the elders, learned of Tiamat's uprising. He summoned the gods. Tiamat, our mother, prepares for war, he said. She has created beasts of terror. She has chosen a warlord. She holds the tablet of Destinies. The room fell into silence. Anu, god of the sky, stood up first. I will go to her, he said. I will speak, perhaps calm her rage. And so Anu descended to the edge of chaos. He looked upon Tiamat, vast and burning, mother and monster, but he could not speak. Her gaze broke his courage. He turned and fled. Next came wise and cunning, slayer of Apsu. He too approached the abyss. He too stood before the wrath of the deep. But even he, the spellmaster, could not stand before her. The winds turned against him. The waters screamed. He returned, shaken. Once more the gods assembled. Despair clouded their council. Who could stop the mother of chaos? Who could face the dragon of creation? Then, a voice, strong, calm, unshaken. Marduk, still young among the gods, yet greater than all. Born of Urs and Damkina, raised in magic and storm. His eyes shone with fire. His words rolled like thunder. I will go, he said. I will face her. I will defeat her. But I ask one thing. If I return victorious, you shall make me king of all gods. You shall grant me command over fate. The gods hesitated. If I am to risk all, I must have all. And if I fail, then nothing will remain of me anyway. And so the gods, desperate, agreed. They built a great throne. They held a feast in heaven. They drank wine from golden bowls. They sang songs of fate and battle. They gave Marduk their blessings, their powers, their name, and they proclaimed, from this day forth, if you return victorious, you shall rule all, forever. The gods had spoken. The pact was sealed. Marduk, son of champion of the divine assembly, was given the throne, the scepter, and the command of the four winds. The fate of the cosmos now rested on his shoulders. He armed himself. To his right hand he fastened the bow, a weapon of kings. His left held the net, woven from the winds of the universe. He strung arrows tipped with flame, forged in the furnaces of heaven. He raised the storm chariot, drawn by 4 terrifying beasts. A serpent with blazing eyes, a dragon with wings of thunder, a snarling lion demon, and a swift storm bird shrieking across the sky. Each beast bore venom, lightning, and fire in its breath. Upon his lips, he picked a spell older than time. Upon his chest, he wore the emblems of creation. Around his head, the crown of sovereignty burned with starlight. And then he went forth. He passed through the gates of the heavens. He pierced the veil of the deep. He descended into the ancient void, where light had never reached. There she was, Tiamat. Vast, coiling, timeless, her body stretched across the abyss. Eyes like black suns, teeth like mountains, wings that shadowed the stars. Around her flew the monsters she had birthed, beasts of poison and shadow howling in defense of their queen. At her side stood Kingu, the traitor god, glowing with the tablet of Destinies upon his chest. Tiamat looked upon Marduk. She laughed. "So this is what the gods send me? A child in armor? A boy with storms in his pocket?" But Marduk did not flinch. He raised his voice, not in anger, but in power. "You have turned creation into chaos, mother. You mourn Apsu with blood. You poison the order with monsters. Now you will face justice." She screamed, and all of her legions roared with her. The battle began. Tiamat opened her jaws wide to swallow the hero whole. Oceans boiled in her breath. The foundations of heaven shook. But Marduk was faster. He cast his net, a net of the winds, and it tangled her wings, her limbs, her endless coils. Then, with a shout of power, he summoned the evil wind and sent it surging into her mouth so that she could not close it. Her body swelled, her chest cracked, her insides churned with storm. Then Marduk raised his bow and loosed the arrow of fate. It pierced her heart. It split the silence. Tiamat screamed, then fell. Her scream echoed through every layer of the cosmos. Her children shrieked, her beasts scattered. Kingu trembled and dropped the tablet. Marduk stood over her still form. But he was not finished. From her body he would make the world. He split her corpse in two. With one half he raised the sky, stretched wide across the firmament, pinned in place with mountains and stars. With the other half he formed the earth, solid and rich, filled with rivers and stone. From her eyes he made the sources of the Tigris and Euphrates. From her tail the arc of the Milky Way. From her ribs he sculpted the mountains. From her blood the seas. From her voice the thunder. From her silence the night. Marduk then took the tablet of Destinies from the fallen Kingu and sealed it to his chest. He was now king of the gods. The war was over. Chaos had been conquered. Creation had begun. But one task still remained. Who would serve the gods now? Who would bear the weight of labor? Who would remember all this? Marduk had an answer. The dragon was dead. The abyss was silent. From Tiamat's shattered body, Marduk had shaped the world. Sky above, earth below, stars to mark time, rivers, mountains, winds, all set in their places. But the gods, those who had not fought, stood in awe and confusion. "What now?" they asked. "We are free, but who will labor? Who will tend the temples? Who will keep the offerings? Who will uphold the names of the gods?" And so Marduk, newly crowned king of heaven and earth, summoned the high gods to council. "Let us create servants," he said, "beings who shall take the burden of the gods upon themselves. They will build, they will offer, they will remember." The gods agreed, but Marduk spoke again. "Creation must come from sacrifice. From rebellion shall rise obedience." He ordered that Kingu, Tiamat's general, the bearer of the tablet of Destinies, be brought before him. He who led the monsters of chaos shall now serve in death. And so they bound Kingu, tore from him the tablet of Destinies, never again his to hold. And before the assembly of the gods, his blood was spilled, and from his blood, humanity was born. clay and blood, mixed by Ea with the wisdom of the deep. From that mixture came the first humans, beings of breath and thought. Fragile, yes, but able. Mortal but mindful, bound to the earth but gazing at the stars. Marduk gave them tasks: tend the temples, feed the gods with prayer and sacrifice, speak the names of the divine, keep the world in rhythm. And so the burden once held by the gods passed into the hands of mankind. Now free from toil, the gods rejoiced. They gathered once more, this time not in fear but in celebration. They built for Marduk a temple unlike any other, a divine palace upon the earth at the heart of Babylon. Its name, Esagila. The home of Marduk, king of gods, judge of heaven and earth. The gods sang, they chanted his 50 names, each name a power, a title, a truth. Marduk the avenger, Marduk the bringer of order, Marduk the slayer of chaos, Marduk who fixed the constellations, Marduk who divided night and day, Marduk who made mankind from rebellion's blood. Each god took a role, each domain was set, time itself began to flow. The world had rhythm, heaven had a king, and mankind, newborn, looked up and saw the sky and named it. The world had form, the gods had peace, mankind had purpose. Now, the heavens turned to their new ruler, not by inheritance nor by ancient right, but by deed, by courage, by victory over chaos. Marduk had earned his throne. But to seal the new order, to give him dominion eternal, the gods gathered in solemn assembly, one final time. In the heart of the divine court, they lifted their voices, not in fear, but in song. A chant, a coronation, a litany that echoed through the pillars of the cosmos. They sang not once, but 50 times. Each name, an honor, each name, a power, each name, a cosmic truth. They named him Azaru, the clever one, who plans with wisdom; Tutu, who revives the dead with his breath; Namtilu, giver of life; Mumu, shaper of forms; Sulumu, knower of secrets; Gugalu, the storm rider; Duga, who calms the angry; Lugaldurma, the king of the broad land; Bel, the Lord, the Master, the center of all. And at last they said, "Let his name be Marduk. Let it be above all others. Let it never be erased. Let it be praised by gods and mortals alike." With each name, a new sphere of power was entrusted to him. Over the winds, over the stars, over fate and time, over death and rebirth, over the destiny of gods and humans alike. Each syllable thundered across the heavens, like hammers shaping the very fabric of reality. The gods declared, "Let his temple be the axis of heaven and earth. Let Babylon be the gate of the gods. Let Esagila be the place where order is renewed." And so it was written. Marduk's kingship was not for a year, nor 1,000, but for eternity. He took his place at the center of the cosmos, not as tyrant, but as balancer, as remembered conqueror, as the god who made meaning from ruin. And the chant continued, carried year after year at the festival of Akitu, when the Babylonians reenacted creation and called out the names once more, so that time itself would not forget. Thus ends the epic of Enuma Elish, not in destruction but in naming, not in silence but in song, for the gods found their king and humanity found its place, and the heavens still echo the names of Marduk. If you enjoyed this journey into ancient myth and want to hear more epic stories like this one, give the video a like to support the channel and don't forget to subscribe. This content is made with great care and passion, especially for you. Your support helps us keep bringing you deep, dramatic and high-quality stories from the oldest corners of human memory.